All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will call to order tonight's North Liberty City Council meeting. Today's Tuesday, August 25th. Tracy, could we have roll call, please?
Fortney? Here. Leibold?
Here.
Park?
Here.
Smith?
Here.
Wason?
Here. Thank you. Item 3 is approval of the agenda. There are no changes. Could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Wason, seconded by Leibold. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, or the agenda is approved. Item 4 is consent agenda. Is there anything on there that you want to talk about?
Just one quick thing. I really like all the financial reports. That's actually getting better. It's pretty cool every time adding all that stuff in.
A good point. And I know that that was a goal of yours and staff to include those more often. Anything else? Could I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Leibold. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda carries. Item 5 is public comment. If there's anyone in the audience wishing to address council on something that's not already labeled with public hearing, come on up. If you just let us know who you are and.
Yep, is this live? Or,
That is live, yeah.
Yep, my name is Austin Kopp. I live at 425 Ann Boulevard. Again, appreciate that there's more of you here than us, so we're doing something right here, so I appreciate that. Regarding an incident in front of our house, there's an intersection where we were one of the early buyers there. It was an intersection that was not very busy. There's 50 new houses down the street, 50 new houses up the hill, and it's become an intersection that is a T-bone intersection at the corner of Abraham and Ann that needs some kind of control, pedestrian control, stop sign, whatever that becomes. I think that's what we're really looking for and looking into. There's a recent documented incident as well at that corner. There's also a bus stop there. I've got maps of it if anybody wants to see what that is, but just imagine a T-bone intersection there. Probably 50 kids that live down the hill, probably 40 or 50 live up the hill. I have 4 kids, and we live at that T-bone. So hence why I'm initially here. So the incident was a close call with a child on a bike and a car, and the car actually called the police, and they called it on our house, which is fine. We're at that T-bone. Ends up it's not our child, but it's a friend of our kids rolling over. There is cutouts in the pavement, but there's nothing marked. Like there's no pedestrian sign, there's no crosswalk, there's definitely no stop signs there. Observationally, we see cars, definitely go through there. Obviously, way too fast. That's purely observational. But I think those are our concerns of that intersection. Of that day, the complaint that was made was, well, there's always kids playing in the street. There's always kids riding their bikes around. And today it was a close call, and we talked to the young man who it was with, and yeah, it scared the daylights out of him and his mom, of course. So we've reached out to the city, and we've got that ball rolling in terms of I believe with Russ over here, we've got an email exchange going, and I think the comment back to us was that we don't count close calls. Well, that would be a tragedy in North Liberty if that kid had gotten hit, and not. Just because there's no markings there and there are tons more people. So that's our main concern is the safety of this corner. Not exactly how it was handled on the front end or anything like that, just making sure that gets kind of the proper markings and things. So our request to the city would be, hey, I think, it should count that there's a near miss documented at that intersection. I've got the incident number here as well. So again, kind of documentation, any of that. We've got kind of all that. Obviously, we're not counting close calls. I don't want it to come to where it's one of my children that's in that intersection, plus the bus stop there and not a single marking of anything. So I think what we'd love to see happen would be some kind of a measure to at least look at it, not just brush it off and say, hey, this is, we don't count close calls, so on and so forth. And yes, I realize there's been no accidents there. So I think some of that is the age of the intersection and it's just getting busier, busier, busier. Yes, there are lots of cars and kids and everything that roam through there. And we just kind of happen to live at the end of it. So I think that's what we're looking for to be some kind of traffic calming measures there, just like you'd see in front of a school, whether it's a crosswalk with a pedestrian crossing sign or a 3-way stop. I don't know. I don't have that answer. So I'm looking for some assistance from the city on that end.
Awesome. Thanks, Austin.
Yep.
The public comment is not a time where I can, counselors can provide comment, but I can. So my question, you answered
Yes.
it actually at the very end there was, living in that neighborhood and at that intersection, what type of, what would be, what would help?
So
If it were up to you.
So I mean, I think a three-way stop is the ultimate answer because now the road's coming through the other way. So there's gonna be even more people coming through there. Parking patterns have changed. So even on, I think it's Mary Lane right around the corner, it's now one way instead of two-way parking. There are many different reasons, I think, why that, I mean, mostly it's just build up in housing, right? It's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I think a three-way stop would be that would be an end-all solution. We put out the little slow guy with the little flag. We put that out at the corner. But yeah, I mean, we're watching our kids 99% of the time with little ones. But yeah, I think that would be ultimate. At a minimum, I'd like to see the stripes painted on the street and a caution shield at play or something of that nature, crosswalk on two sides of the street. And that's kind of where that all is. So
Okay.
I think the consideration would be stop sign or not, but I appreciate the question. Back as well.
Thanks for coming in
Yep,
tonight.
of course. Thank you, guys.
Anyone else wishing to provide public comment? You're here, you don't want to just sit in the back audience. Remind us who you are, Greg.
My name's Greg Ursig. I'm a supervisor candidate for the 1st District here. I came just to be seen, but I guess I'll be heard also. I wanted to congratulate the whole city of North Liberty. I've been out knocking on doors for the last 2 weekends, and people have just been tremendous. I've really gotten a new respect for this city and the population here. And as an aside, having sat here and watched the new officers getting sworn in, it kind of reminded me how things have changed through the years. Back in 1978, I was hired by the Lynn County Sheriff's Office. I had my interview with the sheriff, and they said, okay, you're hired. They went to the supply room, got us uniforms and our belt and our weapon, and said, we'll see you next week at the jail. And it's like, what a change this is. But it also did my heart good to see these young people taking on the responsibilities of law enforcement, because it's a different world out there. And especially in this day and age, it's even worse than what it was when I was on the police department and sheriff's department. So I'm just plain impressed with everything about what I've seen in North Liberty over the last month. Driving through before, I thought it was pretty nifty, but you all have a good city here. That's all I can say. It's good seeing you when I was out knocking on doors. So, and hopefully I'll see some of you else when I hit your neighborhoods. There's a lot of neighborhoods to knock on out here. So, thank you.
Thanks, Greg. I will close the public comment session, and Josiah, I'll move over to you for engineer's report.
All right, thanks, Mayor. Let me give you a couple updates here. I'll go back to the community center parking lot. With the better weather, we've got some paving work underway on the west side. New curb and gutter. Also, if you remember, we're putting in some speed tables, permanent speed tables in there to help the ones that were put in and moved out every summer and every winter. So the first one's got paved, and the next one will probably be paved this week. The contractor's back on site doing sidewalk, doing curb and gutter. That's an asphalt parking lot, so they'll get all those things ready, all the curb and gutter and parking and curbs and the concrete stuff. And then the asphalt contractor will come in towards the end and do all the lifts and overlay and make it look good and smooth. So it's good to have them back on site and making progress. The Forever Green and Jasper roundabout, we're at a good spot. We've been in like what I've been calling phase 1 of work around the roundabout. All the permanent pavement for phase 1 is done. So that's some of the stuff at the roundabout, Forever Green, East and West, and Jasper starting to head down the hill. Jasper Avenue obviously goes quite a bit north. Right now, they're doing work to prepare the compacted earth that will be under that street with a special preparation. That's happening this week. And then paving of Jasper all the way to the north end should start next week with a paving machine. Last thing I'd mention is that we will be moving the traffic control barrels, cones, and digital message board signs near the Forever Green Penn interchange again here shortly. That's because the next phase of the project at the roundabout will come. So we're going to take that opportunity to obviously change the traffic control, but also work on that layout a little bit to maximize the amount of space for vehicles that are heading south on 380 right now, since the Penn Street exit's still closed. Speaking of that, the northbound off-ramp at Penn Street is now open. So right now we've just got one ramp left that's still closed, and that's that southbound ramp. Projects in design phase that I haven't updated you guys on in a while. Ranshaw Way Phase 6 they're working on preparing the final plans, which go to the DOT this fall. It's a federal funded project, so the project will get bid at the DOT in Ames. That's happening this winter with construction starting next season. It's been a while since I've given you an update on the Cherry Street Firehouse project. We talked about the CMAR, Construction Manager at Risk process, a couple weeks ago. That contract with Myron Construction is being reviewed right now with the agreement. It's back in their hands to finalize. But in the meantime, they have been participating in some of the design meetings, which has been really helpful, not only for the firehouse, but the water maintenance shop edition and the parks edition. Overall, the firehouse we're about a third of the way through on the Cherry Street Firehouse. And we are about 2/3 of the way through the design for the parks and water maintenance edition. Those will be the first ones that get out to bid and built, because obviously that is what allows the fire department to eventually move temporarily. And that's it. That's my update, Mayor. Ready for questions?
Does anyone have any questions? Josiah?
How's the splash pad?
Splash pad has been slow due to all the weather in the rain, but I talked to the construction manager today, and they're back on site. They do need to do a lot of dewatering on site. They're doing that to get the excavation for the foundations for that pump house and building ready. So if they can keep going and the weather stays the way it is, we should see a lot of progress on that here in the next month or two.
So I did meet somebody from out of town who was here and has been driving around and said, boy, they really liked the landscape because it looked integrated. And I said, well, we have some of the people, they work with us and they try and make everything tie together. So they said it really looked good. So
Thanks to the Parks Department.
and then the person who designs it.
Mayor, my question was, has there been any communication from the DOT with the upcoming football season and the mess that 380 is going to be and how traffic is likely to be routed through our town? Because if not, I think we should reach out and at least have conversations with them, understand what their plans are, what their reroutes are with the Penn project going on. I know it's going to depend on where accidents are, but there are accidents in that chute every day, and certainly will be with more traffic. So I just think, maybe there's nothing we can do, but it sure would be nice to hear from the DOT because that's their responsibility.
I haven't heard any updates on that topic.
When this project first started, there was some discussion on it, but it's probably worth rehashing now that we're a little further along, and of course we've got the football season coming up.
And maybe they've had more contact with the sheriff's office or county or something, which is fine. But it certainly has the potential to disrupt flow in town for us on game day. So just would be nice to know what their plans are. That's all.
And on that note, can you remind us what the timing is of that southbound ramp opening? It's kind of vague right now, but is it like November sometime, or are we closer than that?
From what we've heard, we anticipated it'd be sometime in October. Yeah.
So about the time we're 7 or 8 know. That's
I like the way you think.
There we go. There we go. Any other questions for Josiah? Any other predictions for the schedule through October? Okay. I'll move on to item 8, which is the mayor's report. And I just have a couple of schedule things. What's that?
You skipped Ryan.
It's all right.
Oh, I did? It wasn't on my agenda. Oh, there it is. It's 7A. It should be actually.
Used to be.
Hey, let me back up, Ryan. Let's get to the city administrator's report.
Well, thank you. Just two really quick hitters, and actually Councilor Wason touched on one. I wanted to call your attention to the new financial reports. Tracy and Adam, our finance coordinator in our office, have been working on this, and hopefully you will find it easy to read and easy to determine where we're at through the year. Of course, because some of our purchases are front or rear end loaded, those percentages may be off throughout the year, but it gives you at least a snapshot of how things are going and an opportunity for us to tell you what's going well or maybe where we see some struggles. So I think we'll continue to refine those, but we feel like they're in a pretty good place right now. Last thing I would mention, there's a website out there, and I'm going to forward this to you, but it's called Inclusive Play Atlas, and it's basically a website atlas that identifies inclusive playgrounds all over not sure if it's all over the world, it's certainly all over the United States, and our Centennial Playground was recently added to it, and it allows those who are looking for very specific playgrounds to find them. I think there's less than 20 probably in Iowa, 25 maybe in Iowa. So pretty neat to see that, and I'll be sure to forward that website on to you. Otherwise, Mayor, that's all I have, and look forward to your report.
Are there any questions? Is it okay if I go next?
Please.
Okay. As I was saying, I have a couple of schedule things, but first, a reminder that the Grow Solar program that ECI COG is sponsoring is going to come to an end in September. We have one more power hour that'll happen next Wednesday over in Williamsburg, if you want to be there in person, but you're always welcome to go to growsolar.org to see a power hour that's out there on YouTube. Scheduling wise, Brian Leibold and I are going to be part of a Greater Iowa City committee group discussion platform for data centers in the region. That's going to kick off the day after Labor Day on Tuesday, September 8th, so just before our next city council meeting. It's set to meet 5 months consecutively, or 5 meetings consecutively, with some ideas generated around the region and county on how we approach data centers. So look for more of that. Brian, thanks for volunteering your time with that. And lastly, as you all know, there's a lot of discussion going on right now about a new jail proposal that'll be on the ballot for us in November. And next Tuesday night, there will be a presentation at the Johnson County Health and Human Services Building, 6 o'clock, if you're interested in going down to that event. So otherwise, parse your information that you read online and do your homework. It's going to be an incredibly valuable asset to our community, but there's a lot of information around that, and getting folks out there to vote in November will be really, really helpful. So with that, if it's okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm going to move on to council reports. This is a time I reserve for council members to let us know what they are doing outside of city council meetings on behalf of the city. I'm going to guess you were all at the street dance, or a few of you were. I forgot to mention that. I was too.
Nope. So I was there. One of the big things was the blue bus is gone, but we now have a green and white bus. So was there, and the driver was there, and they have improved routes. So I would encourage people to get on the website and look at where it is going, and it'll end up downtown, and actually will come back. And so that's been helpful, and it's also going to get to Kirkwood, which I think will help a lot of folks. So.
That was fun. I appreciated seeing PD and fire interacting with the community, as they always do. Not surprising, but kids are having a lot of fun. There's a lot of good interaction. We had the Think Iowa City Board of Directors meeting this last week. A familiar face I was glad to see joined our board this last week, Rakesha Harrington. No surprise to anyone in this room that she is still very involved in the community and in the region. So it was great to see her back and being able to serve with her on that board. So Rakesha, welcome back and welcome to that board. The Think Iowa City office also kind of suffered some water damage. They had a big rain. During the big rains, they had a dislodging of a drain on the roof that let all the water into the office. So it's upwards of 25 grand in damage there. So if you hear about that, or Mayor, if you hear about that, that's basically the entire renovated side that they just spent all that money on took water. So insurance claim, of course, they're working with the city of Coralville that owns the building, and they're working through that. So just some things to work through for them. That's all for me.
Thanks for letting us know about that. I'm sorry to hear that.
Speaking of Rakesha, I was able to attend the neighborhood centers of Johnson County, their new Town Crest building, the grand opening for that, and it is a very impressive building that's doing a lot of great work. So congratulations to them on that. I attended the street dance, and I knew that our staff was extremely talented in a lot of different ways. I did not know that dancing was one of those talents. Mr. Rusnak, in particular, has
Oh my
quite
gosh, what time was this?
the moves. There's a video online.
Oh, fabulous.
I wasn't happy with the energy I brought.
It's okay. You did great. So that was just a blast. It was really great to see the community out and about, and I love that event, and just glad to see it happening and to keep happening. So excited about that. I'll be attending the Iowa Finance Authority Housing Iowa Conference on behalf of the city on September 9th. And I'm excited about the arts and culture meeting we have coming up on the 2nd, where we'll be presented with some great ideas, I assume, for public art in North Liberty, which will be a really fun thing for the city. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
For me, Mayor, thank you. First, yes, like everybody up here attended the street dance, and I think it's important that we always thank our sponsors to make that help make those types of events for our community happen. Amazing staff that was seen, throughout the event itself. Just a call for volunteers. So we have staff and volunteers that are always needed. So, Greg, if you're wanting to meet a bunch of people at the next event, you can probably go ahead and get signed up for that. Appreciate your comments, though, and thanks for joining us. Brandon, good to see you. Thanks for joining us as well. I did want to say, and Austin stepped out, but he brought up a very good point. I think that it's important at this time of year, first and foremost, good luck to all those that are returning back to school, whether they be kindergarten or college. And it's just a good opportunity to take good time to take this opportunity and as a reminder for the safety. There's a number of new drivers that are out there that are heading back to school, maybe with their first time with their license. People out walking around, either to and from school, or parents that are accompanying their kids or maybe sending their kids for the first time. We've talked about it, and I've received some feedback. We're going to continue to talk about the importance and the safety of e-bikes and scooters and motors and different things like that. So if we just pause and take that extra 10, 15 seconds to remind ourselves to be safe, we will avoid hopefully some of those close calls that Mr. Kopp described for us. But just wanted to say good luck to everybody and remind our community for safety reasons. So that's it for me, Mayor. Thanks, Brian.
I too went to the street dance, very limited, but enjoyed some of the food. The vendors are awesome, and it's always good to have great participation from our community businesses and things like that as well. See, last week I attended a part of the Data and Society at the library, which was, we were talking about AI and with regards to regulations and different types of things that we can do for educating. And what's really cool is our library is one of 11 nationwide that is participating in this research activity that they're doing to try and stay ahead of the advancements and all of that. It was a very good good conversation. So I also attended the Johnson County Town Hall for the new jail in Solon this week. It was well attended, and I encourage anyone who has any questions, concerns, needs educated on the entire thing to make an educated vote this November. As the mayor said, on September 1st, there is a second town hall at the Health and Human Services building, and then October 6th, there's going to be one here in North Liberty as well. So get out and see and get some information so we can have you can vote in November. I also wanted to congratulate the officers that we swore in this afternoon. It's really awesome to see the upcoming members getting involved, participating, and becoming a part of our service in our community. So thank you very much to those three. And I think that's all I have.
Thanks, Tanya. Okay, I'll move on to item 10, which is Solomon's Landing amended develop agreement. And this is resolution number 2026-107, a resolution approving amended development agreement with Pratt Real Estate Management. Could I first get a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Smith, seconded by Leibold. Before we go on, Ryan, can you give us a little bit of an update on what this is?
I sure will, and I have asked, and Brandon has accepted my invitation to be here this evening to answer any questions that you might have as well. But generally, this amendment does two things. One, it delays the first payment of the rebate, which, according to the agreement, would happen June of 27. We're proposing to push that out to June of 28 because the final piece of the Solomon's Entertainment District, which includes nearly all the frontage on Penn Street in the Solomon District, other than the credit union, the Quarter Credit Union. That final assessment didn't come online until January of this year. And as you know, taxes are always in arrears. And so it was most beneficial to capture all that valuation in 26, which pushes the first rebate out to 28. It's very similar to what we've done, what we did previously with Diamond Dreams. The second request or second part of this agreement extends it from an 8-year rebate to a 10-year rebate. It actually does not impact the total dollar amount, which is a maximum of $7.5 million over that time period. Instead, it expands the time allowed to get to that $7.5 million. That being said, as you saw in some of the documents, we anticipate a 10-year rebate now will come in at about $5.2 million, roughly. The reason for that is, well, construction costs for this project were on target, or perhaps Brandon would say over budget. I don't want to speak to that too much. But the anticipated investment was similar to what we were talking about throughout the whole process. Pieces of that investment are not taxable. Most notably would be all the features of the bowling alley, and those bowling lanes are very expensive along with the equipment. So that right away gets stripped out of any taxable value, then which brings the rebate down. And so Brandon and I had a number of conversations about this, and what we compromised on that I would bring in front of this group is expanding that time frame by 2 years to allow him to capture some of that additional rebate that couldn't be had because of the lower taxable value. So maybe I'll stop there. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of it. And if there are other questions for me or Brandon, certainly fire away.
Well, good. Are there any questions for Ryan? We were fortunate to get some of this background in our packet and in his note and in our conversations. No questions? Tracy, let's run this as a roll call then, please.
Absolutely. Smith?
Aye.
Wason?
Aye.
Park?
Aye.
Leibold?
Aye.
Fortney?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 11 is the sewer revenue borrowing, and item A is public hearing on proposal to enter into a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement. I'll open the public hearing on this sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement. Seeing no one speaking, I will close the public hearing and move on to item B, which is resolution number 2026-104. This is a resolution taking additional action with respect to a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement and authorizing, approving, and securing the payment of $3,166,300 sewer revenue loan and disbursement anticipation project note, IFA interim loan and disbursement agreement. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Fortney. Are there any questions about this?
So this basically, we can get the money for zero interest.
That's correct. We'll start drawing on this as we design the wastewater project, eventually rolling this into the long-term bigger note in a couple years. But between now and then, zero
Cost us
interest.
anything.
And that term of time is 3 years max, or is it something that we?
2 to 3 years. It'll really depend on how design proceeds. Remember, this wastewater project is estimated to be about $55 million and is touching multiple stages throughout the entire plant. So it's a pretty complicated project and will certainly take some time to design.
Perfect. Any other questions? Tracy, could we have a roll call, please?
Wason,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Fortney.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 12 is zoning ordinances, and item A is a public hearing regarding proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance. I will open the public hearing. Anything, Greg? I'll close the public hearing and move on to item B, which is staff and commission recommendations. Russ?
Thank you, Mayor. This is a staff-initiated ordinance to update several sections of the zoning code. For those of you who have been around, I've been working on this for several years, and I committed at that time to never quit working on updating the zoning code where we think it could be adapted. So really, the overall goal is to modernize the code by adapting to land use trend and best planning practices, always looking to give flexibility to citizens, developers, and business owners, while maintaining our community standards. That's always a primary consideration. In short, we always listen and adapt when appropriate. We fixed some Scrivener's errors that we caught. We made some amendments to achieve consistency with some changes the state made regarding accessory dwelling units. So I kind of wait for a bundle of these and then present them. We don't have any objections to this request, and the Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of this request at its August 4th meeting, and staff recommends approval as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Any further questions?
No questions for me, just comment more, Ryan and Mayor, just having listened to the kind of the explanation, I kind of view this as both a proactive and then also reactive approach. So just that intentionality, that approach is very well received by this group. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. It's both proactive and reactive, and it's appreciated.
Thank you.
I just appreciate kind of getting, this is what we did and this is what we're doing. So you can kind of go back and look and see. That was helpful.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think we have that issue resolved within the software. That was we're struggling with that, but I think we got that taken care of.
With that, I'll move on to item C, which is first consideration of ordinance number 2026-15, an ordinance amending Chapter 168 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances, governing dimensional standards and the use defined in use standards, Chapter 169 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances, governing off-street parking and loading, landscaping requirements, accessory structures and uses and design standards, and Chapter 173 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances regarding temporary signs. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Leibold. Any questions? Tracy, could we have a roll call, please?
Leibold,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 13 is the 2026-2028 strategic plan, and this is resolution number 2026-105. a resolution approving the 2026 strategic planning and goal-setting report prepared by East Central Iowa Council of Governments for the city of North Liberty. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Smith, seconded by Wason. I'll just say thank you, staff, for putting this together along with the ECI COG and everyone on staff for the time that they took in meeting with this group to get us this far and to get these things down in writing for the public to be able to see. And as we all know, there's a lot going on, and it's always nice to just be able to show and tell in that effort. So do you guys have any questions or?
Nope, just be good to get all the accomplishments right there on the website.
Yeah, I believe
lot of stuff done.
we'll post this on there. And then, of course, you saw in our packet now, we had the most recent progress report from the 24, 26, and now we'll kind of convert that to 26 through 28. Thank you. Yeah, we will.
Anything else?
Just impressed with the amount of stuff that, has been done and is planning to be done, and the planning for the future that we do. It's impressive.
Agreed. Tracy, go to roll call, please.
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 14 is the Cherry Street Firehouse Project, and this is resolution number 2026-106, a resolution setting the date for public hearing and additional action on proposal to enter into general obligation urban renewal loan agreement and to borrow money thereunder. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
By Wason, seconded by Park. Any questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Leibold,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Fortney.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 15 is LSTJ Holdings LLC rezoning. This is our third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2026-11, an ordinance amending the zoning designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa from C1B General Commercial District to C3 Higher Intensity Commercial District. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Fortney, seconded by Wason. Any last questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Fortney.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 16 is the Emory North Liberty Part 3 LLC rezoning. This is also third consideration and adoption of ordinance number 2026-12, an ordinance amending the zoning designation for certain property located in North Liberty, Iowa to amend the planned area development PAD within the existing RM21 multi-unit residence district. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Park, seconded by Smith. Any last questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Fortney,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 17 is Cemetery Board Ordinance Repeal. This is second consideration of ordinance number 2026-13, an ordinance amending Chapter 15 and repealing Chapter 26 governing oversight and operation of a joint cemetery board. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
By Fortney, seconded by Smith. Any questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Fortney,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason,
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And item 18 is electric personal assistive devices and micromobility devices ordinances. This is second consideration of ordinance number 2026-14, an ordinance amending Chapter 76 of the North Liberty Code of Ordinances concerning the operation of electric personal assistive devices and micromobility devices. Could I have a motion for consideration, please?
So moved.
Second.
By Leibold, seconded by Fortney. Questions? Tracy, roll call, please.
Fortney,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Park,
Aye.
Leibold,
Aye.
Wason.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Finally, any old business?
If I could, I would just add to Mr. Kopp's public comment. I live right there. He's on the Ann side, and I'm on the Abraham side. And I have to agree, the projects that's going on at the Watts development now, we're starting to see concrete mixers come through that are not, they're busy in the workday. They're motivated to get from A to B, and it's gotten a lot busier there. So I just need to add my support to what he was saying in those comments. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. New business? With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
By Leibold, seconded by Park. All in favor, say aye.